Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm your host, Giovanna Burgess White, my co-host.
Hello, I'm Yvette Valdenegro.
And we're excited to be here. We're doing a two-part mini-series. Today, we're going to give you 5 of the top 10 tips of self-love to fill your high-achieving heart, and we'll explain that in a minute. But before we get started, if you're watching us, welcome. We go live every Wednesday, and this year we're exclusively on the Spotify platform only in video content, where you can join us on our poll. You can answer questions, and if you're watching live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, welcome, because we're going live there every Wednesday as well. And then this week's episode is brought to you by YGC and HBW, the Houston Business Women Association, and we are featuring our 6-part signature series for the rest of this year. You can go to the link, click on it. We have 6 workshops for you to create a healthy relationship with your business. All the information there. If you have any questions, please let us know. And welcome to the episode.
Woohoo! All right. Well, last episode, we talked about heels and hearts and what the ambitious woman is really looking for. So if you are in a relationship with a high-powered woman, I highly suggest you listen to that so you know what she's doing and why it seems like all the crazy and madness is around you, but it gives you an insight. These 2 episodes are going to be more of some secrets that the high-achieving heart and a woman does not even know she's seeking or needing. But when we describe them, I bet you $100, they're going to be, oh yeah, I really need that. I really want that. And then let's work on creating ways to get it. All right. So we want to just dive in.
Yeah, I love it. So you may just list these and then we'll go through them each one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So high achieving hearts are redefining success, embracing imperfections, prioritizing self-care, setting healthy boundaries, and cultivating gratitude. That's going to be what we talk about today. Then you have to tune into next week to see the second part.
All right. Well, I'm glad we just go right into it with number 1, because I think this has been happening for a while, but
Okay, you keep on talking. Let me see these behind the scenes.
Okay, it's just the one thing.
Oh, just kidding.
It's okay. There's no click, click, click. Because number 1, I really think that this has been happening for a while, that people are redefining success. I think a lot of it happened during COVID, and I'm so thankful, because what we used to think of success, or what you as the highly achieving woman used to grade that on a bonus, your salary, who you're, I don't know, like who you're in charge of at work, the projects that you're doing. Did it work? Did it not work? I think that, yes, that is super important to people. And yes, obviously that's your career choice. But I also think that high achieving women are looking for more, and they want more of emotional fulfillment. So if they're looking like, how did I do last year versus how am I doing this year with being emotionally present, getting emotionally fulfilled, that to her is redefining her success. Is she having more meaningful relationships, which is what our jam is, what we love, a relationship with herself? Is she growing in that area? That is her new definition of success. Is she having more compassion for herself? Again, the new definition of success. So if you are a high achieving woman and you're like, you know what, you're right. I love that I get to kind of check the boxes at work and I'm very successful, but personally, that success is transcribing into wanting more in my personal life and the relationships that are closest to me.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a balance. Like, you can be great at work, but you come home and it doesn't work. It's not the same way. But I also love the fact that even the generations after us, it's like, are you happy? Are you truly doing what you want to do? Surveys out there where like people will take a less paying job, like salary, for doing something that they love to do, which back in the day, that's not how it was. It was always about like what was in your bank account. Number 2, I love this one. Embracing imperfections. Guys, it's so hard. Like, I love this one because we don't even embrace them. But we're, us as coaches, we really do teach women to have a wonderful relationship with self. And I think it's important that you realize what those are, you give yourself grace and you embrace them. And same thing, like, I love that we do these series because it's the same thing with your partner. You're going to be more vulnerable, or even in other relationships in your life. that understanding that this is part of it, like the imperfections is kind of what makes you perfect.
Yeah. Okay. We hear it all the time. Number three, prioritizing self-care. But I think that someone who's very successful at work and in her career is looking at this in a whole new way, because there are things going on. There is busyness and work and responsibilities that she is very intentional with making this really a reality in her life. It has to be scheduled and it has to be you time. And it does not matter. This is the other thing. I think people are so creative. There's so many avenues to take. And what does self-care mean? And listen, if you want suggestions, if you want help on what self-care means, we do have another episode that we went in depth about self-care, and there's a lot of suggestions. We won't take the time here, but the obvious ones are like things that you hear: walking in nature, meditation, journaling, all those kinds of things. But the important thing is that someone who really is high achieving, they already know, like, this has to get scheduled. This is okay. Let's just be real. It's like, go get your nails done, your hair done. You have your doctor appointments. You have all the things that you know you need to be doing. A high achieving woman also knows, yes, this is on my plate. I'm going to make this a priority in my life and make sure that this gets done. And it's part of my daily routine for myself, just like getting up and brushing my teeth and working out. This is part of the DNA that is in me to make sure that I am taking care of myself.
Yep. And number 4 is my favorite. You were reading my mind because I was like, oh my God, we have episodes on a lot of this, but we do have a whole mini series from, actually, it's almost 2 years ago. And it's so good, and how to set boundaries in different relationships in your life. But I mean, I think the most important one here is setting your own personal boundaries and understanding that's okay and that's healthy. And it kind of goes back to prioritizing healthcare, or self-care, not healthcare, but that's part of it too. Like, I think a lot of people now are like, before it was like doing all the things, and the more I do, it just looks way better. I'm like such a successful woman, and I think now we've come to realize it's like less is more, and like you said earlier, being more intentional. So setting healthy boundaries with the relationships that are extremely important to you, and then maybe cutting some people out, or cutting some things out, some activities, maybe some communities, maybe some things that aren't serving you. That's also setting a boundary for yourself, so that you have time to prioritize self-care, so that you have time to really start the day off with you. But it's so important that you take the time to have and write down.
Oh no. Gio, if you can hear me, you froze. This is part of embracing imperfections. Hey guys, we just wanted to she coming back? Okay. I know you can't hear her. If I can't hear her, you can't hear her. So she was wrapping up with setting healthy boundaries and how important that is. And we're going to move into number 5, which is cultivating gratitude. And I'll just say this: we actually had an exercise that we encouraged our clients to do this last fall, where we took every single morning for a month and we just said, hey, let's be grateful first thing in the morning, and make sure that we start our day with the intention of being grateful. I'm sorry, I just jumped right in. If you wanted to wrap up something about boundaries, we'll go back to it. But I just jumped in with cultivating gratitude. Although I did say, this is number 2. We just wanted to come up with a great example of embracing imperfections.
It's not a redesigning your relationship life until this. It happens like once every 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, it's about time for us to have a tech issue. But yes, cultivating gratitude. Were you able to go into it?
No, yeah, I was just going into.
Okay, good. But yeah, that was embracing the.
I'm very grateful that you're back online. But I was saying how we had the exercise last fall of how you encouraged all of our clients to just every single day be grateful for something. And I think every single woman who decided to do this at one point has told us how it really did change their aspect. We started putting out, we have what we call a daily tracker. For those of you who are not our clients, we have a daily tracker that we give our clients, and we explain what to do with it. Anyway, every single day there's things that we're working on. One of them is the gratitude aspect of it. we intentionally have it in there. It's the first thing in your mind is to set your intention every day on, I am just grateful for one thing. What am I grateful for? And I think just this focus automatically, there is absolutely no way that you can have a positive statement come out of your mouth of gratitude and at the same time be negative. You can't. It's impossible. It has to be positive. It is positive. And therefore, even if it's just the 3 seconds that you say it, it is positive. Whether you want to say affirmation, whether you want to say a frequency, whether you want to say your own aura, your being, whatever, that is you, and you're setting your intention. And it is amazing. Even if it's just small, the little small changes that happen throughout your day, because you just start off with gratitude. And I think for someone who is a high achieving heart, sometimes we can let those little pesky negative things get in our way. And let's just say this. You can be sitting here, and if 10 little pesky flies come in, it's like, right? You get your spray out. You're like, oh my God, you're so frustrated. Those little pesky things don't seem as pesky when you start your day off in a positive space. When those little things, then instead of it's not like, I'm going to get my pan out and spray it. You just kind of go, you know what? Click.
Yeah. I think it's important. I mean, no, even though we're ending with 5 and we'll be back for part 2, just by doing this the first thing you do in the morning, it prioritizes your self-care. It helps you set a boundary, that the boundary is that you start your day with yourself. It helps you redefine your success because you start your day off literally with a positive and happy attitude. And then embracing your imperfections, because things are going to happen, just like right now just happened, and giving yourself grace because that's going to happen. So I know I love that our clients that are doing the work and starting their day off with themselves. And it just takes the first 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't have an hour, we get that, to start with you and have self-gratitude.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to give you part 1. If you didn't go see last week's episode, go back, because that also will help kind of tie all this together. And we'll be back next week, every Wednesday at noon, live with part 2. Thank you for being here. We'll talk soon.